if you even think about having a job in the next 15 years, it has to be in the physical realm. You have to be an arborist. You have to be a welder. Honestly, that's the advice that I've been told. I don't see how that's actually true. I'm pretty sure AI is still going to wipe a lot of things out. And I don't want to have the goal of making 80 grand a year for the rest of my life in a physical job that demands my time every day. Shut up. That is not a goal. We have to figure out something else that makes it so that we can make $200, $300, $1 million a year without it seriously taking all of our time in order for it to happen. Even with AI, like fucking get smarter then. Get smarter in AI automations, start using it to your advantage, and keep up with it for the next 10, 15 years. I know it sounds crazy, but unless you actually do want to just work a physical job, making sub 100,000, and you know that shit's also gonna go down too. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I will do that to get through things. You know what I mean? I'm not being ridiculous. I'm totally fine with creating a plan. But with the point of view that I have on AI, that's not actually an end goal plan. That can't be. I have to figure something else out. I don't want to make 80K a year and have it take all of my time to make. Like, no, let's get a little bit better at life. And I know the last thing I just said could totally be really mean, and I don't mean it as that. I just really actually do mean, like, let's get better at making money.
Y'all, I had to come outside and go for a walk because one of the chairmen of our company had rolled out yesterday AI prompts that allow you to paste Excel spreadsheets and data, and it will analyze it for you. I'm a data analyst. I've been doing this shit for 3 years, y'all. It's getting bad. Like, literally, they are replacing us right now. And they started out this week where everyone has to come in office 5 days a week. Any associate or analyst right now that works for a finance company right now, our job is literally in jeopardy because they had rolled out this new AI like software where everyone in the entire firm could use. So if you're looking for a sign, like if you're ready to move, if you have kids, this is definitely your sign. Okay, now before you make any drastic measures, something I need to give y'all advice on. If you got kids or if you don't have kids and you've been at your job for over a year, you can take FMLA. If you're battling with mental illness right now, you can talk to your therapist and they will write you a letter, basically to HR. You submit that through the portal and then you have to wait until they approve. And then once they approve your FMLA, you can be gone from anywhere to like a few days to 12 weeks out of the year. And you will not be fined. And what people are doing now, I don't recommend this, but people are getting on disability while they're on FMLA. And people, and again, I highly do not recommend that you, but people are using their FMLA leave to go travel to other countries and see if it works for them. And people are also taking out a portion of their 401k to fund these trips. Again, I highly do not recommend that you do this. But if you're going to do this, this is what people are doing right now. Okay, so again, if you are one of these individuals where you are trying to leave and you work a job and you got kids, this is what people are doing.
I overheard a conversation yesterday where engineers at Amazon are essentially teaching AI how to do their jobs for them, but not in a good way, in a way that would eventually AI would take over their jobs altogether. So this was coming from a gal who actually just quit her engineering job at Amazon because of the toxic work culture, being overworked. You know, that's a whole separate conversation I could talk about forever. But she was saying that on her team, they were required to use AI in their jobs to make their work, you know, more efficient, more productive. But in turn, she thinks Amazon is plotting that eventually they're just going to teach AI how to do their jobs and take over their jobs altogether. And essentially they won't need engineers at Amazon anymore. And This is so on brand for Amazon or even tech in general these days. Because if you know anything about Amazon, I live in Seattle, so I know a ton of people that work at Amazon, but people hate it there. They are constantly overworked. That's exactly why she's quitting. You know, all the benefits you used to get in tech, like 5-10 years ago, you don't get those anymore at all. And yeah, Amazon just doesn't care about their employees. Like, I feel like so many companies these days just do not care about mankind and people in general, and it's just horrible. Like, this is a crazy plot, and I'm like waiting to see if this is what happens.
Laid off just like that. I don't know how many times I have to come on here and preach this message. The jobs are not safe. You see how many persons are going to get laid off from the passport office? A lot of these companies are using technology to replace the menial jobs and the menial task that employees used to do on a daily basis. Just a few months ago, I did an interview with a major bank. What were they looking to do? They were looking to fully automate their mortgage approval process. So you see how you have to go in and talk to a mortgage advisor and they tell you, yeah, no, or you need to bring this in. They were looking to fully automate that process. You need to get yourself in a skill that is future proof. I talk a lot about the different tech skills that you're able to get into, like working as a business analyst, a systems analyst, a project manager, that can help to literally future proof you. But this is not the only way. You have to find what works for you. What I'm telling you to do is to take action right now. AI is not coming. It is here, and we're seeing in real time how this is literally changing the way that the workplace functions or operates. So if you have been sitting, standing, and sleeping on leveling up, take this as your sign that you need to get started.
The only one who sees that if we stay on this track as a country, that within the next 12 months, we're going to see the absolute decimation of the entry-level white-collar economy, right? I can't be the only one that sees that AI has already put coders, data scientists, website builders on the back burner, and we're quickly seeing a world where even things like paralegals, CNAs, administrative work, marketers that are just completely out of date now in comparison to the instantaneous 24/7 doesn't require payroll worker that is now AI. How many kids are sitting in their 3rd or 5th year of college getting their degree in their specific niche, knowing now that AI more than likely is not just going to be a competitive factor in their job market, but may outright replace them, if not already, soon?
Hey boss, artist here. No, you're not the only person that's realizing this. See, we've been on the front line of this fight since day one. And the crazy part is that when we were screaming, the British are coming, none of you came out of your homes. You see, we've been getting cooked and having stones thrown at us, telling us to cope and adapt, right? So we're supposed to adapt to something that is trying to remove us entirely. Now it's happening to other industries as well. No, we're completely aware. No one wanted to help us. And as I've said many times before, nobody would care until it was their turn. And now apparently it's other people's turn. The crazy thing is that when it came to the art community, people were doing illegal and immoral things, and we asked for regulation because at that point, any kind of legal action we were taking was in a gray area because they didn't know how to deal with AI. Now, people are talking about it's a necessary sacrifice. So when I bring up the fact that because they are doing this in a dangerous way and they are not acknowledging the amount of damage, or they are acknowledging, let me rephrase that CEOs are acknowledging the damage that will happen, but they don't care, right? When I bring that up, people say that it is a necessary sacrifice. People losing their jobs is a necessary sacrifice. Everybody brings up universal basic income, even though no one's actually had this conversation yet. They've not actually brought this to the table, but they have brought the amount of people that will lose jobs to these new AI systems and such. They've brought that up. They've talked about that in detail, but nobody has actually brought up a legitimate way to have universal basic income yet, which means that the AI that is happening now is going to happen first, and then universal income will happen sometime down the line, which means there's going to be a big gap of time where people are suffering for your benefit. And a lot of you think that it's not going to be you. You think that it's no big deal because it's not bothering you yet. And that's exactly what I watched happen with the art community. And now we have these white collar issues, right? Well, when the art community was suffering, nobody else cared. Now this is happening and other people are not going to care. And then other people aren't going to care. And then other people aren't going to care until it's too late, until we're completely cooked. This is the way that humanity works for some reason now. This is how it works. Stronger together, but we stand apart.
Graphics designers, copywriters, AI is going to take your job. I mean, it's already taken it. I run a marketing agency, and the last time I paid someone to write copy for my ads was 2022. Now, I'm seeing the same trend with graphics design. AI is so good, making graphics that convert, it's scary. For the last 2 months, I've been using ChatGPT to produce some of my best performing ad creatives, and I must tell you, I have no reason whatsoever to pay someone to create shitty graphics for me. I mean, even if they're great at what they do, I could just go online and find winning ad creatives that's already performed, and I can just give ChatGPT that same design and ask it to create the same exact designs for me. So I'm sorry to everyone out there who does graphics design, but even though it's still in its infancy right now, it's not going to be long before we see jobs taken away by AI, especially graphics design.
What would you do if AI actually took your job? I was reading an article today from Gaping Void, which is a really cool kind of culture analysis platform. But Bill Gates has apparently predicted that by 2035, AI will have replaced most things. We'll be on a 2-day work week. Like, people will have all this extra time. But I keep thinking, what are we actually going to do with all that time? And the article goes on to say kind of, there's only so much running and wine drinking and holidays you can do, and like, are humans going to yearn for a purpose? And I think I would say that's the case. I mean, I've always maintained that if I ever won the lottery, I would still have some sort of job, do some sort of work. I don't think I could just enjoy having the money and being off. And I know that AI will change the way that people do their jobs. Like, I was having this conversation the other day and talking about the fact that, I don't know, I'm a marketing manager, for example. A marketing manager of the 1980s, 1990s is a very different role to then what I am now in a 2025 marketing manager. I don't even know what then a 2030, 2035, 2050 marketing manager is. Like, what are those roles and responsibilities? And I think jobs will remain. It's more what entails in that job description, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you had your job taken away by AI, or it was like a 2-day work week, it was automating all your emails, doing all your tasks for you, what would you do with that extra time? I'm really curious to know.
All right, so you know how I was going around and doing interviews, and I'm talking to a ton of business owners right now, and by now. But I can't believe I'm actually having to pause that to make videos like these, because AI is really wiping out people's jobs, and it's like crazy. I had a friend that works in the IT field, and he's actually not working right now because his jobs got phased out, and he actually trained the machines that took his job. And I'm like, that's crazy, because you wouldn't think that AI would have reached to IT. You know what I mean? There's so many people that have been in that field for so long.
So the AI takeover is estimated in the next 2 years. Bro, what? Yeah, we're not just talking about content creation. We're talking about loss of jobs. There's supposed to be an estimated of 2 million jobs to be lost in the next couple of years. And we're going to lose it to AI. AI can't take over everyone's job. This is true, but it's going to take away a lot of jobs. We've already seen what AI can do with digital art. We've seen what it can do with video. It can code a website in minutes. It can extrapolate information from a book in seconds. What people could do in video games and CGI in years, AI can do it in minutes now. Is it perfect? I want you to think about this really hard, okay? ChatGPT was made public November of 2022. So the general public hasn't been using AI even for 3 years yet. Look what it's accomplished in 3 years. Yeah, we're gonna still need people though. Do you think we'll need as many people? I just wanted to keep y'all informed. Go check this out if you want to see something scary or you want to go down a rabbit hole. AI 2027.
You don't think this is true? Let me tell you my story. It just happened this week. So Friday afternoon, your boss wants to jump on Zoom at the last minute. Be prepared that something's going on. So I kind of had been having this feeling for weeks. My boss had been talking about how much he's been using AI and how productive it's made him on development tasks. And then yesterday afternoon, we got on a call, and he said that my position is no longer needed. He said, I've been doing everything I should be doing. They can't afford the position anymore. So I am out of a job, and it is because of AI. I 100% know that.
Even if you're Gen Z, you remember your first work. You were starting step by step onboarding, having like debugging code, writing the documentation, doing these small steps. And that's where there was this playground to learn these basic skills of your career path, and then adapting the skills and growing step by step. In this article, it states that this playground is actually replaced now by LLMs. The AI replaced these first career ladders steps. So the newcomers, they have to skip this usual start from scratch, and they have go directly into like higher levels. They have to already acquire the skills even during their education, not even during their education. I also did research and found that indeed states that in two-thirds, 67% of all job positions, more than half of the required skills can already be replaced and performed by Gen AI. We are pretty much cooked, and it's like they don't say that the need for the young professionals disappeared, but education, it has to incorporate even more. So basically, when the grads, they already face the problems. It's harder to go and come into AI because a lot of things are actually replaced by AI already. They have to understand the principles of working with AI. It states that it's more important to develop managerial skills than to actually possess these hard skills. So when we are like doing all this practice, all these exercises and group work and etc., it is actually more important now not to gain these hard skills compared to this like the managerial skills. So they're not looking just for the smartest ones. So if you're starting looking for the job, immediately like go through the LLMs, just start asking them to give you the virtual tasks so that you can solve them. You will see like the evaluation, and then you can find the job faster because you ask LLMs to actually teach you how to solve these things, and then you can just surprise your boss and get the job faster.
6,000 jobs, actually over that, have been lost. Microsoft laid off 3% of its global workforce because they're replacing them with AI automation. They've invested $80 billion in data centers that could handle their workflow. So what does that mean for the rest of us? I work in an office. Before, I was just driving through the Taco Bell drive-through and it was automated robot taking my order, but now they're laying off everyone from software engineers to their legal department. Where do we go from here?